Hello everybody and welcome back to Ren Gaming. This is about the 15th time I've made this because Shadowplay is being an absolute fucking arse. As much as I love it, the microphone isn't working properly and it's not my system. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, this is going to be a talk about the new Nvidia GTX 980. I got it today. It's in the rig. We've had hours and hours of fun overclocking it. I have gone for the EVGA, which I'll show you, superclocked, and that means it comes overclocked out the box. Now the default clock on these is about 1120 odd. EVGA have knocked it up to 1241. I've had a play around with it and I've got an extra 120 on the GPU clock, so we've got it running at 1361. And what that means is the boost clock here is 1462, but it actually boosts up to around 1512, so it's absolutely amazing, man. I mean, it goes up to 1512. It's ridiculous. The memory on these is the Samsung. There's 4 gig of GDDR5 in it, 256 bus width, and with the little overclock we've got on there, it's 243.6 gigabytes per second, so it runs nice and quick. I was a little bit disappointed with the memory overclock because there's 7,000 effective out the box. We've got this running at 7.6 and a bit, but I've seen people get it over 8, and that's just the silicon lottery, I suppose. So I'm going to show you some graphs. Yeah, you don't normally get graphs on my channel, so I am going to show you some things I've been doing all afternoon. Now these are benches I've done, and we're going to start with Tomb Raider. This is all on Ultra, by the way, all at 1080p. So Tomb Raider, I had the Tress effects on because I thought, fuck it, why not? Makes a big difference really, because you know Nvidia cards aren't optimized for Tress anyway. So at stock we had 62.6 and then overclocked was 76.2. Metro 2033, so at stock we had 76.9 and 93.7 overclocked. That's a massive difference, and it's a huge upgrade from my old 660 Ti's where I was getting around 50 average with drops to about 3 or something silly. Batman Arkham City we have 82 at stock and 97 overclocked. And then on to Bioshock Infinite, and this is a big jump here, you see. I mean, this benchmark always did run high. I don't think it's a terribly well optimized benchmark, to be honest, but 141 at stock and 160 frames per second whilst overclocked. Batshit fast. Assassin's Creed 4, now obviously this is a bit newer, lots more things happening in this. So we get 68 at stock and 79 frames per second whilst overclocked. Now Battlefield 4 doesn't have a benchmark, so I ran a mission at the start. I ran it 3 times and took the average basically. So we've got 79 at stock and 92 overclocked, which again, amazing. Crysis 3 is always going to take a hit because this game is massively intensive. So Crysis 3 we had 45.9 and 50.1 whilst overclocked. I think really to get the magical 60, either you need to win the silicon lottery or you're going to have to run SLI, you know, Crysis 3. It's a shame, it's such a shit game, but it looks fantastic. And then we're just going to pop across to Metro Last Light, and this surprised me a bit actually because this benchmark is like Uber, and I had 82.9 at stock and 96.6 whilst overclocked. So this, I would say, is about 43% higher on average than I was hitting with my 660 Ti's. There was 2 of them, the 3 gig cards in SLI, so obviously this card is fantastic. And then we're just going to have a quick look at Firestrike because you know I love my benches. So just for comparison here, this was my 660 Ti's, this was the 2 cards, which I'd overclocked the absolute arse off, and I managed to get 10,578, which it was the world's best and probably still is actually for 2 cards. Well, 2 660 Ti cards anyway. So then we get up to the 980, sorry. So when I first put it in, this was out the box, we get 11,783, which is nothing to be sniffed at, I have to say. So then we started to have a play with it, and I've shown you what we've done on the overclocking side of things. So as we go up, the top one's a little bit lower than this. I did wind it back down. I did have a few problems with stability, and I did have to jump the core voltage up slightly, and I did have to put it on 125%, but it hasn't made a difference to anything, apart from the fact that the card's now stable. It doesn't get any hotter. Just while we're talking about actually the heat, Nvidia have set these cards maximum temperature at 80, and it will hit that when you're running intensive stuff, when you're overclocked, and the automatic kind of fan profile that comes with it doesn't really seem to get the card cool enough, so it will hit 80 and the card's fans are still running at about 40%. So I've got quite an aggressive curve on there. It's nice and quiet up to about 40-50 degrees, and then it kicks in and keeps the card cool. But what we did get was this 1393 score here. Now the clocks on this are a little bit higher than the ones I had on GPU-Z just a second ago, but we'll run down and show you. So better than 98, and it's probably the best I'm ever going to get, because I'm not into liquid nitrogen, and I don't run Xeons, and I haven't got an extreme i7 whatever they're called these days. Anyway, so there we go. So Nvidia GeForce 680 980, one card, there's no SLI on this, so 4 gig, 1361 on the memory. Now like I say, I have wound it back just a touch because it was starting to get a little bit artifacty. The memory on this was a little bit higher as well, but only a touch, and again I just had to wind it back down. But there you go, this is the i7 running at 4.6, let's say 4.6, fuck it. But 1300 off a single card is absolutely amazing. Now I have seen people get higher scores than this, but they've had their core up at 15. Now these guys are obviously very lucky, won the silicon lottery, and this one lad who was posting on Steam, he had a 15 core and 8,000 memory. So yeah, fair play to you, mate. I ain't ever going to get there. But there you go. So these cards are fantastic. Right, so let's do a conclusion. I just wanted to say, if you're running a 6 series or lower, say you're running a 680 or a 670, and you want to upgrade, I would recommend upgrading now. The 980 is very competitively priced. It's a beast of a card. It absolutely rapes the arse off a 780, as I've already said. And 9 times out of 10 it rapes the arse out of a 680 Ti. If you're running a 780 or you're running a 780 Ti, I would not. There are so many fantastic deals around. Pick up a second card, run SLI. It's going to beat this. But again, if you're running anything like a 680 and you want to upgrade, then yeah, fantastic. The 790s, especially some of the ones I've seen, the Strix and the MSI cards, getting up to 1500 core and 8000 on the memory, and they're up with the 980s. They're not far behind at all, and they've still got 4 gig of memory on them as well, so you don't have to worry about running out of memory. You run 2 of them in SLI, then you could take over the world. You know what I mean? These things are going to be so powerful. You can launch spaceships with them. It's just craziness. If you want to game at 4K, 2 980s. I would imagine Nvidia are holding back like they have done in the last few years, and there will be a 990 or there'll be a 980 Ti. If you can wait, it's probably worth waiting, but you will pay a premium. Now you have to think about it. I mean, look how much the title release for that was, $1,000, you know what I mean? That's far too much for a graphics card. And to be honest, the 780's beasted it anyway, so I'm very happy with my purchase. It plays like a dream, it's cool, it's quiet whilst gaming, it doesn't get too hot whilst gaming. Whilst running benches it was getting a bit warm, but we fixed that with changing the fan profiles. It's a fantastic card, it looks awesome as well. Now I just need to get another one because my case looks too empty. It's a great excuse. Anyway guys, thanks very much for watching. If you've got any questions or comments, pop them underneath. If you've got a 980 and you've had luck overclocking, you know, share. Tell us what you've done, tell us what you're doing. I'm really interested to know if anyone's got one underwater yet, because I know the blocks are coming. I don't know if they're out, because these things underwater, you could, that 80-degree limit on them, they're going to be beasts. The sky would be the absolute limit. So yeah, chuck comments underneath. Again, if it's been helpful, leave me a thumbs up. Subscribe if you want. You know, I'm normally chucking videos up once or twice a week. And I'll see you all very, very soon.